What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University. My name's Tam, and today we're going to be going over Mad Pierrot. This is a really cool Mad Pierrot deck. It is under Evil, and it is using his stacking mechanic in order to make your attacks unblockable. Let's jump into the list. Okay, so Mad Pierrot is a 7 hand size character with 20 life. He has a static on him that says if you have 4 copies of Mad Pierrot in your staging area, all of your attacks become unblockable, meaning they can't even attempt to play a block. Pretty good. And then enhance, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. This attack gets +2 speed, and then enhance, if this attack speed is 6 or greater, it gets -2 damage. So what does this do? We're going to mill the top 4 cards of our deck in order to fuel some cool discard pile abilities, as well as some damage mitigation for my opponent and stretch out this 20 life. So I don't necessarily have to block everything. I can pick and choose what I want to block. So obviously we're playing the 3 other stacking characters of Mad Pierrot. You can't play this type of build without it. Can you play Mad Pierrot without these cards? Yeah, absolutely. But in order to utilize all of the card text on your character, yeah, we got to toss them in. So I'm going to toss them underneath the main one as we bring them down here. On to our actions. We're playing 4 Revoke. This card is Counterspell. This card is Effect Veiler. This card is, hey, stop it. Knock it off. Don't do that. Don't play the game. This thing says just cancel and enhance one from your hand. It's a 0 diff 5 check. And then first form, your foundations are 1 difficulty less. Very good for building out early. Keeping these in order to make sure that you can stop your opponent from playing key abilities like canceling your minus damage or canceling your plus speed, or making sure that you get to push through some big stuff. Revoke is one of the strongest cards in the game, and you should definitely invest in these cards. We're playing 4 the Toguro brothers. If Revoke is trying to answer everything that's not a foundation, I mean, it can answer foundations too, but Toguro brothers destroys our opponent's foundations. After an ability on a foundation or asset is played, cancel effects and destroy. This card's super meta relevant. If you're playing these 3 symbols, you should probably be playing this at least a 2 of. Jeff decided to play 4 of this card in this deck. Maybe a little unnecessary, but this card is really good, and it's if you can't play 4 of it, you probably should play 4 of it. What am I saying? On to our attacks. So like I said, we are playing a stacking Pierrot deck, and so we're going to be playing the Gauge keyword. What Gauge says, excuse me, is if this attack deals X or more damage, X equals the Gauge rating, add a character from your discard pile of your deck to your staging area. So this card has Gauge 4. It is Lightning Torture. It is a throw. It says if there are at least 2 character cards in your staging area or discard pile, this attack gets 3 damage, meaning if they block it, it gets a little bit better. The reason this card is really cool in this deck is because with Mad Pierrot, I can increase its speed by 2, so it's a 4 mid for 4, and then if I happen to have milled a character from my discard pile, either by Mad Pierrot's effect or by checking cards or whatnot, this is going to get 3 damage. I'm going to gauge out for free. If I play 3 of these, boom, all of my 4th ones are blockable, and that is the point of this deck, is I want to snap out these characters just as quick as I can. In order to help me get with that game plan, we're playing Storm of Torment. This says Desperation 4, Gauge 4, Safe, 5 mid for 5, so it's a 7 mid for 5 in Mad Pierrot. Discard momentum, search your deck for a character card, and add it to your staging area. Easy peasy. So this card can possibly just get me 2 cards. So on a turn, if I have momentum, 1, 2, I've gauged. If there are at least 2 character cards in your staging area, you can discard this card after it resolves. So it clears my card pool. I gauge it off. I make all my stuff super unblockable. And my last main card, in order to help me gauge some stuff out, as well as just really put the hurt on, is Prism Storm of Torment. It has Gauge 7, and it says enhance, add all characters from that share a name with my starting character from my discard pile to my staging area. So Mad Pierrot's constantly milling on attacks, not just my attacks, but also your attacks. And it tosses a bunch of people in my discard pile, and then I just take and just snatch them and toss them on. It's possible, if you get really lucky with your mills on turn 2, you can just be like, oh, I'll play this on a 7. I'll check my 6, enhance, I'll add my 3 characters in. All right, it's unblockable now. Who cares? The last of the attacks are so these are all my lead-in attacks. I want to play these attacks in order to get me to my unblockable state, and these are 8 attacks that I want to put pressure on while I'm in my unblockable state. Our first one is From Hell at a 4 of. It says enhance, as the attack is not blocked, which it won't be. Destroy one of my opponent's foundations. They lose vitality equal to the printed difficulty, that's the bottom number, of the foundation that you control. Sometimes people play 6s, and so this card can do 6, and you burn them for 6. You've already gauged 4 times. This card just kills people all by itself. it just smacks them up, not including, if you absolutely need to, you can just play this as it is. It has EX3. Mad Pro gives another 2 speed. It's possible this card just isn't blocked due to mechanics of the game, not just because of Mad Pro stuff. And then my last attack is for Phobia, this old format warping card. It gets 2 damage for each character in your staging area, so it will get 8 damage because of the homies. It gets 1 damage, 1 speed for each character in my discard pile. Sometimes we get them, and then remove 1 card from my staging area. Double this attack's damage. Note: if you remove a character card, you are no longer on an unblockable state. You have to have all 4 in order to make that happen. So don't think that you can just remove Pierrots as all willy-nilly for this Phobia. This card also just kills people. Just that by itself is like 20 plus damage. So, and that's not including anything else. It has powerful too, and we've smacked him up a bit. Onto our foundations. Once again, from my other video, from the videos we're doing here, I haven't put these in any specific order effect-wise. I'm putting them in order of how many copies were in the deck. That's how you should know whether the card is important or not, is how often do I want to see it. So we're playing 4 know your objectives. 90% of these foundations are all going to be either defensive or disruptive, because I don't need an aggressive deck, because Mad Pierrot just says my stuff's unblockable. I don't have to necessarily kill you with increasing my speed. Yeah, it helps with Pierrot, but eventually I could have negative 45 speed. You just can't block it. So know your objective, commit -2 speed. I got to be able to block and stretch out my 20 life a little further than it's supposed to. Triple Face a monster. This card's really disruptive. It says form deadlock form. Your opponent discards a card. Maybe they're holding a revoke. Maybe they're holding something in order to stop an Phobia, or they're holding something to stop the From Hell enhance. I want to make sure I can get rid of that as quickly as I can. In addition to that, desperation enhance. Change the zone of this attack to any other zone. If I do have to make a block happen, then this will happen. It also has -2 speed, just like know your objective. I gotta make sure I block stuff. Triple Outrolls Eris. This card's really cool in this deck whenever we get to the unblockable state, because I can give them whatever foundation that I want if it has a block or not, and they're just not allowed to block with it, right? So I just want something. They have a survivalist out. Yeah, I'll pay the 3 and put it back in your hand. I don't even care. You've got some refusing to let go or something. Both of those cards don't have blocks, but like, you get my point. I'm not afraid to put things back in your hand because you're just gonna block with them, because you can't, because I got the homies. Playing triple Orphaned Alchemist. This card is super important in this deck because of fatality existing. If somebody plays a fatality, like if you're going to take this to a locals, somebody's going to play a fatality on you, this card can response flip after they play the responsibility on fatality to try and snipe one of your characters so that you can lose the unblockable state. You cancel it and then draw an additional card, and it's like really good spam. It's a 1/6 with a 2 low block. I think this card should be in everywhere. It also lets you peek at the top card of your deck. We're playing a 3 Bearer of the Mekhi Whistle. We want to toss our characters into our discard pile as quickly as we can. Decrease our gauge rating is super rad, especially when we're increasing our speed and making sure that the half blocks happen. Excuse me. And then what am I saying? Oh, and this makes a Prism Storm even more alive, just because I want to dump them as quickly as I can. Triple the Azure Nightmare. Discard a card, ready a foundation. This is just trying to play more cards, either play more cards aggressively or play more cards defensively in order to get the job done. The commit burn is fine. That's, I guess, game plan, because I'm trying to kill you, but whatever. Triple Spaceland. Honestly, this is just to mill more cards into my discard pile for Prism Storm and trying to gauge cards out. +1 damage is not that shabby, and is also really good versus after my opponent adds one of their cards of their momentum, like a Spell Circle or a Fatality or something along those lines. Just discard both of those. Triple New Empress of Netherrealm, lose 3 Vitality, draw a card, and then look at the top card of my opponent's deck. Just really staple. Oh man, I need 1 more attack to possibly kill him. I'll pay 3 life and try and dig a little further. In addition to that, you can also combo it with Orphan Alchemist to look at the top card of your deck. I'll slide these over just a smidge, I guess. We're playing 3 World of That Battle. This card is just more defense, -3 speed. And the desperation flip, if there's at least 1 face down card in your card pool. That'll never happen. You just draw a card. An unimportant effect. It's got a solid low block, +2 or -3 speed. Probably -3 speed. We don't want to die. Playing double Confronting Jeddah. This is a really good card for the throws that we have, or the I want to gauge before my unblockable state happens. Mill 4, give it +2 speed, and then enhanced Confronting Jeddah, give it +2 damage. It is unique, but it's important enough to want to see on every game, so we're just going to play 2 of it. Playing double Uniting Rebels. This card just keeps us alive a little more. Maybe a bit of a defensive plan. It also checks a 6, which is just really good game plan. Double Fallen Angels, it's slightly more mill, and it makes sure that you're building safe on turn 1, which is really important for a deck like this. If I don't find the specific foundations that I need, or I don't build out enough, my 20 life is, I'm just going to lose. People should be playing this card even if they're not playing like a Punch and Judy or a discard pile centric deck, or like playing a bunch of 1-checks or whatnot. But just playing this card means that you build safe on turn 1. This card says you guarantee build 2 because it is a 0 diff itself, and then you guarantee you asterisk guarantee your next card. And then on my 1-ofs, I've got one Last of His Kind. We'll just stretch out that life a little further. And then, crazy enough, I've got one Arranging a Deal. I'm not sure why Jeff put this in at a 1-of. It might have just been a space thing. Maybe he like made this perfectly crafted 59 card deck and was like, you know, this deck's missing one Arranging a Deal. But hey, it's in here, and so I gotta talk about it. Desperation Hands, flip, draw 1 card. Very good effect. Maybe we could stuff a couple more in there. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching this profile here on TCG University under Mad Pierrot. If you like the content, please go out and support us at patreon.com/TCG University. Anything helps keep the lights on and get this awesome content out. All of our podcasts are out there, including UniVersus and Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy coming soon. If you like these campus championships, they're up every single day at 11 a.m., as well as the losing deck profile out later that day, I believe at 1. So from all of us here at TCGU, stay learned.